Hey actors, it's Michael Kostroff. It's good to be back with you this week. And I really have had something on my mind. I've noticed that whenever actors have the opportunity uh, to ask questions of casting people, like at a seminar or something like that, inevitably there's one question that always seems to be at the forefront of their minds. And that question is, what are your pet peeves? I've been mulling on that. Like, why is that the question? It troubles me because it's based on what I think is a faulty premise that actors must be terribly annoying to casting people. And I don't believe that's true. So we suffer under this notion that there's just an endless list of accidental faux pas that we could make, things that we could just, God forbid we, don't staple our picture and resume together correctly, or we sit instead of stand. And we're so worked up over this idea that we're going to offend, them, that it's just like a hair trigger away. And I want to encourage you to think about that. You know, the whole job of the casting person, well, not the whole job, but a big part of it is to gather actors and consider them for roles. So it's hardly an inconvenience when the actors come in and they don't have a buzzer on the desk that they can, as soon as you make a mistake, they can just, dismiss you, or the floor opens up and you are dumped into the piranha tank. But I mean, a lot of actors go through their whole careers feeling that way. It makes it less fun, of course, but it's worse than that. Because if you're coming into an audition with the idea that, like, oh, I hope I don't do the wrong thing, I hope I don't do one of their pet peeves, then you are coming in I guess I want to say an unresolved state of, tentative and looking to, of carefulness, as opposed to coming in and presenting your work with pride because this is what you do, and letting them decide if they like or don't like, or what about the way you do things? What about your pet peeves? Do you have any? I mean, is it a pet peeve if the casting director is running 90 minutes late, or if they call in way too many people? I don't know. I'm making those things up. None of those things really bother me, actually, because they're not doing it on purpose. That's just them doing their job. But the point is, you get to take up space in the equation as well. If you've been given an appointment, or you're going to an open call, you have every right to be there and to not go in with this terrible worry that, I don't know what these things are, in the last video, I talked to Gail C. and her crew, and they all agreed that really the only thing that gets under their skin is when somebody hasn't bothered to read the materials, or, hasn't prepared in any way, which I think none of you guys do that. Let's just say we're an elite group. I don't think anybody watching this video does that. Just doesn't even bother to prepare. I don't know any actors who do that. And I think it's rare enough that it really bothers them when it happens. And I've heard that from other casting directors as well. Now, they may have things that they like or don't like, but this timidity, this fear, like you're approaching the Wizard of Oz, like it's always some sort of test, and you're just you're on a very tenuous status. It's not the reality of the situation, not from the casting director's point of view. It's really not. Not from the director's point of view. Really not. And so I just want to encourage you. You'll see it'll come up. This thing that I'm talking about, now that we've talked about it, you'll notice it. You'll be like, oh, I'm really going in there like they might smack me. Maybe that's not the question for casting directors. Maybe you could put it in a better way. Like, what do you enjoy? What makes you happy coming from actors? As opposed to, what are the things I might do wrong? Maybe re-examine that whole line of thinking. That's what I have for you today. I always love the analogy of the game of Operation, where if you move just a tiny bit, I probably have used this with you before, tiny bit to one side or the other, the buzzer goes off. And, I'm afraid to say that a lot of us seem to think that that's how it is with auditioning. And friends, it's just not. I have worn the wrong thing, said the wrong thing, and sometimes been called back. As Gail said to us on the last video, if you're remotely right, we're going to want to call you back and show you to the director. So anyway, I took this out because I have not yet mentioned the fact that there is a book of Audition Psych 101, which is my class that I've taught for 15 years all over the country. I love teaching it. It seems to make actors, it seems to really sort of diminish their anxieties and their overthinking of auditions. That's sort of everything that I do. It's on Amazon. For some reason, there's one vendor on Amazon who's selling it for like $349. Don't buy that one. No. It should be a nice slim $19.95 or something. So yeah, but it is on Amazon, and particularly if you're in a place that I'm not likely to visit with the class, I hope you will get the book and enjoy it. All right, friends. I'll be back next week with some more thoughts. Hope you're well. Take care. Bye.